never thought the rust-colored moons of Thavor would mark the beginning of my unraveling. They hovered overhead, twins of silent judgment, watching as my shuttle broke through the smog-layered atmosphere and landed on Platform 17Z. I remember the hiss of decompressing seals, the metallic scent of oxidized air, and the way my breath caught, not from fear, but anticipation. I am Kael Vireon, a linguist turned diplomat from Earth. 10 years in the Interstellar Accord Corps had taught me how to talk anyone out of war. Humans, Andarans, even the volatile Cathera. But nothing prepared me for her. Her name was Ylliris, not Zara, not Cholera. Ylliris of House Shetherian, a name that tasted like poetry and secrets. She wasn't supposed to be in the briefing room. The council had summoned only minor advisors for first contact, but there she stood, luminescent lavender skin, obsidian eyes like twin voids, and flowing neural tendrils that shimmered in cadence with her pulse. We locked gazes, and for a fraction of a heartbeat, I felt her mind brush against mine. Not probing, just curious. Kael Vireon, she said, her voice a tapestry of tones both alien and achingly familiar. You requested contact. Speak your intent. Formal, cold, beautifully precise. I took a breath and offered a shallow bow, then activated the translator embedded beneath my clavicle. My people seek an alliance, I said, my tone warm but deliberate. Trade, shared research, cultural exchange, peace. Her neural tendrils pulsed a soft gold, a sign of intrigue. Earth has little to offer a civilization 23 strata above your own, she said. I smiled. You're wrong. We offer unpredictability, creativity, and intimacy. That word, intimacy. Her tendrils flared violet, startlement. And she emitted a sound I had never heard before, a cross between a gasp and a stuttered exhale. Her hand fluttered to her throat. She nearly choked. It wasn't the word itself that disturbed her. It was the implication. Among her species, emotional bonds were rare and biologically dangerous. Neural connections formed during such acts could override individual will. For her, to even contemplate intimacy was to dance with obliteration. And yet, she blushed. Alien physiologies rarely mirror human responses, but that blush was unmistakable, rising. From her collarbone up across her cheek crest, she turned sharply, spine rigid. This meeting is adjourned. I watched her leave, heart hammering like the reactor core of a damaged freighter. Later that evening, I received a cryptic signal routed through unlisted channels. No identifier, just coordinates and a single glyph. Laesher, an old word, in her tongue meaning between the shadows. I followed. The rendezvous point was beneath the old arboreal spires of Miraketh, where gravity flexed and folded oddly due to temporal microwells. I stepped through the silver dew and saw her waiting, framed by shimmering vines and bioluminescent petals. Ylliris, I said softly. Kael, she replied, voice trembling like the petals around us. You don't understand what you offered. Then, explain it to me. She took a slow step forward, neural tendrils weaving and unwinding, creating a halo of pulsating energy. If I bond with you, even in theory, I risk permanent integration. My mind may cease to be wholly mine. I swallowed. Then why meet me here? She paused. Because I want to understand why you'd propose something that reckless, and whether I want to accept. I stepped closer, heart in my throat. It wasn't a tactic. It was instinct. When I saw you, really saw you, I knew. Her hand brushed mine. Static arced between our fingers. I've never known anything but logic and duty, she whispered. And yet you, with your chaos and softness, you terrify me. And you, I murmured, make me want to risk everything. We stood in silence, just two minds, teetering on the edge of something monstrous and magnificent. But we weren't alone. From the shadows behind a curved root cluster, movement flickered, a click. then a flash. Ylliris shoved me aside as the shot seared through the air. We hit the ground hard, breath stolen by the impact. She hissed, clutching her side, violet fluid staining her pale garments. They followed me, she groaned. My own house. They feared this. I tore open my medkit, hands shaking. She winced but reached for my wrist. Kael, if I don't survive, you must learn the truth about the Accord. About me. You're not dying on me now, I growled, voice thick. Not before you explain why your people want you silenced. She looked into my eyes, and for the briefest moment I felt something slip. A memory, not mine. A starship. A vault. A genetic map. You'll need to go to the exovault on Carthus 6, she gasped. Find a woman named Nixir. Tell her the ghost protocol is live. And with that, her eyes rolled back, her body slack. Sirens wailed in the distance. My comm buzzed. I looked down at the bleeding alien girl in my arms and whispered, You better not die. We've only just started. She didn't die, but the version of Ylliris I pulled from the roots of that jungle never returned. Her body survived. Her mind? Fragmented. Suspended in neurological stasis aboard my ship, the Astraline, she slept beneath layers of medical nanogel and starlit whispers. I watched over her in silence, drifting through the dark gulfs between systems. Carthus 6 wasn't on any sanctioned star chart. It took 3 backdoor contacts, 2 favors owed to criminal engineers, and a risky pass through an unlicensed jump gate just to get within proximity. When I arrived, the planet was exactly as Ylliris had left in that fleeting vision, a scorched husk with one anomaly, a lone citadel spiraling from the obsidian wastes like a bone piercing the sky. The exovault. Security was arcane, coded not by keycards or biometrics, but by cognition. The entrance required neural imprint alignment. I pressed my hand to the reader, expecting failure. Instead, it opened. Welcome, Kael Vireon, a voice said. It was neither mechanical nor human. It was her voice, a perfect recreation. My heart clenched. How did she know I would come? Inside, light didn't behave properly. Surfaces twisted in on themselves. Gravity pulsed in slow, audible beats. I passed through corridors of vitrified thought, ancient weapon schematics hovering midair, and encrypted history logs that burned into my retina like brands. Then she appeared. Nixir. She was no scientist, no diplomat. She was something else. Hair woven with living metal threads, eyes composed of shattered microcrystals. Her presence was an equation waiting to collapse. You're late, she said, voice silk and gravel. Ylliris said you'd help. She always thought too far ahead, Nixir murmured, circling me. Do you even know what the ghost protocol is? Enlighten me. She stopped inches from my face. It's not a message, it's a person. I blinked. What? Ylliris is the ghost protocol, Nixir continued, turning to a console. Or rather she was, until your little entanglement triggered a cascade. What kind of cascade? She merged with you, Kael. Partially. Without even meaning to. Your minds touched, remember? Neural sync, even for a microsecond, begins data sharing. You are no longer just you, I staggered back. So what now? I become some kind of vessel. She planted coordinates, memories, fail-safes inside your subconscious. You're the backup now, and they'll come for you. My breath turned to frost. Who are they? Nixir pointed skyward. House Scytherian, the Council, even the core you work for. No one wants the truth Ylliris buried to get out. She was a genetic anomaly, a hybrid born from forbidden splicing between 2 enemy races. Her mind could interpret languages and override them. I frowned. Override? She could speak something into existence and rewrite molecular structures, a voice that could bend reality, Kael, the perfect weapon hidden inside a diplomat. The implications rattled through my core. So what was the proposal that nearly broke her? The offer of intimacy? Or the knowledge that, if she accepted, she'd lose control of that power? Nixir smiled. Both. That's why she ran, and why you matter. Before I could speak again, a pulse shook the vault. Sirens wailed. Defense. Turrets groaned awake. Nixir slammed her palm to the console. Too late! They found us! An explosion tore through the ceiling. Soldiers in black polyarmor descended on jet cables. I drew my plasma pistol, useless really, but symbolic defiance counts for something. Nixir threw me a data crystal. Get to your ship. That crystal will finish what she started. Protect her. Because she's waking up soon. And she won't. Remember who she is. What? She fragmented her mind to survive. Your connection is the only path back. You must guide her. I nodded once, then sprinted through collapsing halls and crumbling corridors as gunfire erupted behind me. My comm buzzed mid-escape. Kael! A voice croaked. It was her. Weak, disoriented, but awake. Ylliris! I shouted, bounding up the ramp into the Astraline. Where am I? Everything's broken. I hear voices. Yours. Why yours? I launched the ship into low orbit, punched in coordinates for the Odyra belt, and activated the cloaking field. Safe. Momentarily. You're not broken, I whispered. You're evolving. Silence. Then. There's something inside me. A code. A directive. Yes, I said, inserting the data crystal into the ship's core. And we're going to unlock it together. She gasped. Kael. I remember something. A word. A name. Violethar. The name slammed into my consciousness like a solar flare. My memories shifted. Half my life suddenly felt alien. I saw a room I had never entered. A conversation I'd never had. A man with my fate, but not me. Ylliris whispered, That's the one who made me. I couldn't speak. Not immediately. The name Violethar echoed through my neural pathways like a virus waking from dormancy. My hands trembled at the controls of the Astraline, yet I flew on, through ion storms and gravity rifts, headed straight toward the Odyra belt. Ylliris lay in the cryo-stabilizer pod behind me, not unconscious, but fractured, dreaming in pulses of data and half-formed memories. And somehow, I was connected to them. I could feel her thoughts. Not clearly, but like the way you feel music through the floor, vibrations more than meaning. Violethar. I didn't remember him, but my body did. My instincts recoiled at the thought, like muscle memory resisting pain. I accessed the ship's logs, external data networks, archives. The name was erased from official records, scrubbed, ghosted. But deep in an encrypted section of the data crystal Nixir had given me, I found him. A man who didn't exist, a geneticist, a war criminal, and, somehow, my father. Ylliris's voice rang faint through the comm line from the medbay. He used you and me, didn't he? I think, I said slowly. We're experiments from the same design. Her neural readings spiked. So we were never natural? You're more than natural, Ylliris. You're necessary. She laughed softly, bitterly. Even my name, Ylliris, was one he gave me. A composite of two ancient tongues, one meaning truth, the other, trap. Suddenly she grunted, writhing inside the stabilizer pod. I see it. I see the room. I see him. I rushed in. Her skin flickered between colors like corrupted code. Stay with me, I pleaded, stabilizing the neurolink. Her eyes locked on mine. He said you would betray me, that all humans betray eventually. I froze. Do you believe him? I don't know what to believe anymore. Silence thickened between us like smoke in a sealed room. Then she said, He embedded a failsafe in my genome, a trigger word. If anyone says it, I cease to exist. What is it? I asked. She shook her head. You can't know. Because you might say it by accident. Even love sounds like a weapon if whispered by the wrong lips. I didn't press, but I swore I'd burn Velithar from every star chart before I let that happen. We reached the Odira Belt, uncharted territory where exiled scientists and outlaws twisted the rules of physics. At its heart was the derelict Ringworld Drift Hollow, where Nixir said the truth lay buried. Ylliris and I stepped onto the surface, gravity shifting in unpredictable eddies, old structures humming with broken purpose. I could feel her mind trying to rebuild itself, synapses reconnecting, personality reforming like a city rebuilding after war. We entered the core lab, its doors still coded to Velithar's DNA. It opened for me. Inside was a chamber of horrors, stasis pods filled with hybrid life forms, half-sentient prototypes, and data logs etched into crystalline walls. One log flickered to life. Velithar's voice. If you're hearing this, Kael, then my design is unfolding precisely. You were never my son, only my vessel. I built you as I built her, but hers was the finer art. The Ghost Protocol was never meant to survive independently. It was meant to merge. Ylliris stepped back, face pale. He means us. I finished the message aloud. Only the union of chaos and control would birth the final directive. Her voice trembled. We're not lovers. We're catalysts. A flicker of betrayal passed through her eyes. Not at Velithar. At me. You knew something, she whispered. Even before Nixir. You felt it, didn't you? I didn't understand it, I admitted. But yeah, something inside me always pointed to you, like gravity. Then we were never a choice, just design. I stepped toward her. No, we're more than his plan. We defied it the moment you blushed. That stopped. Her, you remember? She asked quietly. How could I forget? You, choking on one word, intimacy, because it made you human. That moment was real, Ylliris, more real than any of his programming. She didn't speak, just reached out. Our fingers touched, and the chamber roared to life, the walls lit up with glyphs. Our neural patterns, merged now, had triggered something hidden. A chamber beneath the floor opened. Inside was a data seed, glowing with encoded light. The directive, she breathed. Suddenly, an alarm. The station was compromised. Ships descending, not Shithirian, not the Council, Earth. I read the incoming signal. High priority, eyes only. From Accord Corps. High Command. Subject, Asset Reclamation Protocol. Orders, terminate hybrid Ylliris, contain subject Vireon. I felt my stomach drop. You betrayed me after all, she said quietly. I turned to her. No, I swear, this wasn't me. They used my neural ID to track us here, but I didn't call them. Then why do I feel your fear so clearly? She asked. I had no answer. Only a choice. Protect her, or obey everything I'd sworn allegiance to. The chamber pulsed red, sirens blared like shrieking memories. I stood between the woman I'd come to care for and the soldiers I once trusted, rifles raised, helmets sealed, minds already decided. Ylliris, move behind me, I said. She didn't. Her eyes glowed faintly, neural tendrils shimmering with data. They'll kill you too. I know. The first shot rang out, but it didn't hit. The chamber's gravity surged, spinning bullets mid-air. They stopped. Not from tech, but from her. Ylliris had activated a protective override. Time dilated. Matter slowed. Even the data scrolling across the walls warped like fabric. You don't understand, she said softly. If I let the directive unlock, I won't be me, I'll be it. What is it? I asked. The end of will. A voice that can rewrite any mind, merge reality with intent. That's what Velithar built us for. My stomach turned. And you'd lose yourself? I'd lose everyone. Behind us, the Earth Corps soldiers activated a containment beacon. The room crackled with suppression fields, fighting against her expanding neural field. Kael, she whispered. I need you to say the word. I froze. The trigger word? She nodded. It's the only way to shut me down. If I reach final synchronization, I could rewrite consciousness across sectors. They'll nuke this planet to stop me if I don't stop myself first. No, I said, voice hard. There's another way. Tears welled in her eyes, not because she believed me, but because she didn't. Say it. I won't. You have to. I stepped closer. Look at me. You felt something. The blush, the moment. That wasn't programming. That was you. I don't know who I am anymore, she whispered. Then let's find out together. I reached into my chest harness and pulled the crystal Nixir had given me. I slammed it into the chamber's main console. The directive pulse reversed. Instead of triggering full merge, it began deconstructing it, splitting our linked consciousness, but not without cost. My head screamed as fragments of her flooded my neural map, her childhood, her creation, her pain, her longing, and more. I saw Valathar's original notes. She was meant to fall in love. That was part of the experiment. She turned to me, horrified. It wasn't real. It is now, I said, eyes burning. Because I choose it. She gasped. Outside Earth's fleet opened fire. The ring world began to shake apart. We had seconds. She moved toward me, fast and trembling. Kael, if this works, you won't remember me. Why? Because to save you, I have to erase our merge entirely. You'll live, but alone. My throat closed. Then say my name, so I never forget it. She kissed me. It wasn't soft. It wasn't cinematic. It was raw. Pain and joy and betrayal and hope tangled into one desperate exchange. Then she whispered the last word I'd ever hear from her lips. Goodbye. Light exploded around us. I woke on a medical shuttle in Earth, orbit. No memory of how I got there. My record said I was found unconscious in a debris field near the Odira belt. The astroline was gone. So was the ring world, and her. I went back to the core. They debriefed me, cleared me of any violations. They said the directive was a false flag, an anomaly, a corrupted experiment. But I knew better. Every night, I dreamt of violet light, of a hand slipping from mine, of a kiss that wasn't programmed. I never remembered her name. Until one day, walking past a low-orbit cafe in Mars sector, I saw a glyph spray-painted on a wall. Old Thavarian script, faint, almost erased. Leisure, between the shadows. My pulse skipped. I stepped inside the cafe. Behind the counter, a woman turned. Not exactly her, but familiar. Different hair. Eyes that weren't black voids, but deep, still. She looked up at me. Paused. A flicker in her gaze. Recognition? Can I help you? She asked. I opened my mouth. Said nothing. Just nodded. Sat down. She brought coffee. No conversation. No signals. But as she turned to go, I heard her hum a tune. I didn't know I knew, and I smiled. Because maybe, just maybe, even love that was designed, manipulated, and nearly destroyed by war still finds a way to survive, even if it hides between the shadows.